The NCAA has created a snitch hotline. You really expect everyone to just snitch on everyone else.
It's all just a little bit silly.
Snitches get stitches, right? The thought was, well, everyone's doing it.
And everything feels like a placeholder to get to the inevitable conclusion, which would be a commissioner, a strict guideline for what constitutes NIL and what doesn't.
No one's really going to come to the forefront and put it into this. I don't think that a snitch hotline is going to work all that well for the NCAA. It did against Michigan, for Ohio State and Purdue and others when it came to, stealing signs and Connor Stallions. But then there wasn't much pushback because the thought was, well, everyone's doing it, right? Everyone's doing it, so no one's really going to come to the forefront and put it into this and really try to put the nail in the coffin on the Michigan Wolverine program. That's the sentiment I take with NIL right now, because NIL Go is the governing body that is set up through the College Sports Commission. It's through the House settlement that took place, a few months ago, where over the first 2 months, they had 5,100 NIL deals submitted on their desk, where the clearinghouse was overseeing anything over $600 to make sure that it was fair market value and that it wasn't pay for play, if you can believe that in this day and age. That's what they're trying to avoid across every sport, not just college football. But the College Sports Commission and NIL Go, they have tight turnarounds because players who want to do something for a business in their community, in their town, for their college, whatever it might be, they want to capitalize on it now. So let's make sure that we, let's get this clear to move on. The problem with all of that is they're backlogged at NIL Go. I feel for CEO John Seeley, who's overseeing this.
Not to be confused with John Cena.
Not John Cena, John Seeley.
John Seeley.
The head of operations,
I'd prefer John Cena,
is John Bramlett, okay? They have 2 other employees other than those 2. They started with just 3, recently hired a 4th. There are more people in our studio right now than are currently working to oversee NIL Go and the College Sports Commission and NIL deals right now to make sure that the clearinghouse is overseeing everything and to be certain that everything's on the up and up. So they've set up, Front Office Sports says, they've set up a snitch hotline where other universities, other programs can call anonymously and they can report their opponents for breaking the rules. We're just a few months into this, and they're already relying on what's the equivalent of Yahoo Sports back in the day that would do with these investigative reporting and bust college basketball programs for deals with Adidas and Nike.
Pete Thamel was always on the reporting.
Dan Wetzel.
Yep.
We're back to this based on the House settlement. What? You really expect everyone to just snitch on everyone else when universities and programs would beg to be in the same situation as the top programs in the country? This isn't going to work. It's mind-numbing to me why we can't get to a point where we realize there needs to be some sort of CBA in place, some union for players. We need a college football commissioner, and we need to move forward instead of getting stuck in the mud and backlogged. 5,100 deals they're trying to oversee with 4 employees. They're not using AI. They're not using anything that's computer generated to do this. This is all work on the table, done individually, page by page. There's no way that this is going to go there's no way they're going to figure out a smooth way to make this work. And you better believe there's lawsuits coming for players that know that they're in the right, but they can't get cleared in time to actually benefit or capitalize on their value. because they can't get cleared by this clearinghouse. That's over $600. It's ridiculous. $600 is what we're talking
let me
about.
first applaud NIL Go for employing actual human beings and not giving jobs away to AI. Way you said, these are actual humans working these cases. Here would be my gentle plea to NIL Go: hire more humans. Right? Like,
how could you not?
You need more than 4 people. Hire more people to do this job, because there's going to be a lot more complaints and a lot more NIL deals to sift through and make sure that they're legitimate or they're not, and turn people in when needed and all that. The whole snitch hotline thing is just so ridiculous. And how much time is going to be wasted on stupid fans calling in with erroneous reports of bad NIL deals, or actual reports of bad NIL deals that they're not going to be able to get to because they don't have enough people to do the job. So it's all just a little bit silly at this point, Hutton, and everything feels like a placeholder to get to the inevitable conclusion, which would be a commissioner, a set of rules in place, a strict guideline for what constitutes NIL and what doesn't, more employees that can go through all the documents. That's where all of this needs to go eventually. And I don't know that we're that much closer to any of that. It feels at times like we are, but I'm not so sure.
Chad, the Florida Gators football program has 20 times the employees, 30 times the employees, just as analysts for their football program, as NIL Go has overseen college sports. Mm-hmm. 4 employees for this. You would think 100, 50, 20. They've got 4. And can you imagine being those 4? Like the phone ringing off the hook. Hey, have you cleared this yet? Have you cleared this yet?
They're paid well.
Oh, you know they're not.
No, probably not.
You know they're
probably not at all.
I don't know that the common sense aspect of this, where you think you're going to actually police things. Oh, but hey, Missouri, we'll rely on you to call in about Ole Miss if you don't mind.
Well, it's not even going to be the schools. To me, the schools would go to one of the 4 people or go directly to them. This hotline's going to be full of Joe Bob, down in Montgomery, Alabama, calling in Alabama or Auburn over something. Well, I saw this guy driving a brand new Escalade and they haven't reported it. Well, that's going to be the whole hotline. Is going to be 90% will come from the SEC and footprint.
And a lot believe it's the collectives that are going to rat each other out. But the collectives are in together collectively to make sure that they stick around. They want the market to be, they do want guardrails. They just don't want to be left out of the picture.
It's going to be a lot of people calling and saying, Texas got the best players money can buy. Best players money can buy. They're Texas Longhorns. By God, Longhorns.
I mean, anything over $600 is ridiculous.
So that's why it's all silly.
And it's also backlogging women's basketball, men's basketball, volleyball, anything. It's not just college football. Stupid.
I'm ready for those gymnastics complaints to come in. That's when it's going to get real wild.
That's right. The complaints are in for Cathy Engelbert. If you don't know who that is,
join the club.
Get in line. That is the WNBA commissioner.
Yeah.
You don't know who that is.
A lot more people know who she is now, but didn't know before.
Yeah. Do we know who Napheesa Collier is?
I
do now.
I've heard of the name.
Great player of the WNBA. Minnesota Lynx, and this was the exit interview where she's airing her top grievance of the season.
Do you remember when Al Davis walked in with the overhead projector when he fired Lane Kiffin?
Yes.
And he went through the 35-point plan.
Great example.
And he had all the text messages and email correspondence, and he had written out things. That's the same sense I got with Napheesa Collier.
And they're saying, hey, she's saying this isn't about the money. This is about a commissioner who needs to be torched.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
Yes.
Man.
Oh, I mean, this is a commissioner who's headed for a player strike with the CBA negotiations.
It's a commissioner who's headed out of a job.
And being stupid about how to respond to these complaints, which are warranted. Just so stupid.
I'll give Napheesa Collier credit for pointing out, Caitlin Clark and some of the young players that's driving interest in the league the way she did.
Yeah.
And I think she's been one that has been accepting of Caitlin Clark as a superstar, supportive of Caitlin Clark fans being a part of the league. It is also laughable to see some of the responses across the league from people that have not been as welcoming and accepting of Caitlin Clark being a superstar and everything else. So that's the part you cannot have both ways. But overall, I watched the entire address from Collier, and I'm fine with it. She's got a platform. She's got the ability to go and say exactly what's going on. It takes a little bit of courage to speak out against your commissioner in that fashion. So, good for her.
And we will see a work stoppage here. There's a 60-day mark that is October 31st. So it's officially October. So at the end of the month, it's the deadline to ratify the next collective bargaining agreement for the WNBA. And, they could agree on an extension to that deadline. I don't know why they would in an off-season, Chad. But I would have the assumption that we're headed for the immediate work stoppage, and the players, all of a sudden, the players will want to band together and say, you know what, Caitlin Clark's right. She is the face of the league. She's bringing the revenue. We have this new TV rights deal. Let's make the most that we can make with this new CBA. She's great for the league. We welcome all fans. Look at all the fans that we've brought in recently. They'll claim all this after ignoring it for the last, 2 years.
See, I think specifically with Caitlin Clark, the biggest part of her celebrity was her time at Iowa in the run against LSU and Angel Reese and all that. Now, Cathy Engelbert is not wrong in that now she has a platform stateside with this league where she can continue her career and continue making a lot of money in endorsements, where otherwise, if this league didn't exist, maybe in a vacuum something else replaces it and it's equally as good or better run or whatever. So the WNBA it does exist in a way to give these women a platform to continue their celebrity. But also, if I'm coming to you and saying, you're mismanaging this, this, and this, and we need to be more legitimate, and we have legitimate concerns about how we're not because of officiating or how you do your business, whatever, you don't come back with, you should be on your hands and knees begging God for forgiveness for challenging me, Cathy Engelbert, and the deal that I just got you with the television contract. That's ridiculous.
So they had a 286 regular season game schedule over the course of their regular season this year. ESPN announced they averaged 1.3 million viewers for the 25 games that they aired. That's up 6% from last year. And they finished with an average of nearly 11,000 fans per game across the league. That's fantastic. When you consider that Caitlin Clark played in 15 games for the Fever?
Yeah, she was 8-5. She played in 13 total games
out of 44.
Here's what's wild. The Fever were just as good without her. They got to the WNBA semifinals without Caitlin Clark, and their winning percentage was the same or better without Caitlin as it was with her, which shocked me. And the ratings, they went down from Caitlin Clark, but I did see that I think it was Game 4 was on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock at night or 8:30 in Vegas. They got 1.7 million viewers for Aces versus Fever. That's a really respectable number.
No doubt.
On ESPN2.
Well, so Collier, who we just heard from, she and Breanna Stewart, they launched that 3-on-3 league last year. They are paying salaries an average of $200,000. All right? So they're doing that on purpose because that's coming up this spring. And so they've got that to also leverage with negotiations on top of things. Now, how much does that matter? Well, they've got a TV deal with this. They've added more teams. They have a total of 8 teams now. And again, the salaries are much better in that league compared to what we're seeing across the current CBA. They're going to get paid more. The question is how much. I like the tone and the organized thoughts there from Collier. That's what they need. The players need that, and they need more of that, and the recognition for Caitlin Clark, who should also be saying things like this, right? Let her voice carry the weight, and everyone just follow suit. That's simple. Chad, it's time for Prize Picks. This episode brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. It is time for us to get our picks right. You download the app today. You use the code HOTMIC to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. This code HOTMIC to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. It's good to be Clay and Ricky and Dan right now on the leaderboard. We are going big with our picks.
Red is not
for
good,
more,
but
we are going for more. We go big each week with our picks.
Yeah,
and when we hit,
scared money don't make money.
When we hit,
that's
on
our
these
approach.
Picks, we will be in the green. And I'm hitting
we will
this
be
week.
further in the green than these guys. And also, we're not pussyfooting around.
No, we're not.
We're not taking two-person bets on this. We're taking 3 and 4. If I wanted to take one of the goblins every week of like 1 passing yard for Josh Allen and pair that with someone else, then yeah, you're going to win. I'd also like to point out that we are supporting our sponsor way better than these guys. Like, I just want the company to have that on record that we are paying hard-earned money to Prize Picks week after week, as the stats bear out right here. These guys are just robbing our sponsors blind.
Well done, Clay.
With their picks. Meanwhile, we're giving the sponsor money.
I mean, Clay's going big,
I can't think of a better team player than me and Hutton for what we've done for Prize Picks on this thing. Look at that.
Clay's
Look
had
at the
3
numbers
hits,
back it up.
and he's
Good
up
Lord.
$1,000 monthly.
Yeah,
up
man.
$750 overall.
Good for Clay.
Yeah, I know. But hey,
all Clay does is take from the sponsor.
Here's
we hand it back. Like whatever Clay, Ricky, and Dan are taking, we go more, we pick more, and we give more back to Prize Picks with these numbers.
I'm taking more here. More for Jonathan Taylor this week. 89.5 rushing yards. He's going to get that against Las Vegas. Last week, 22 carries, 96 yards. He had a 50-yard touchdown that was wiped away due to a penalty. Take Jonathan Taylor to get more than 89.5 rushing yards. Scatterbo, let's go big with him. More, 64.5 yards is what he needs against the Saints. Last week, 90 yards rushing. He is the lead back now for the Giants. And James Cook, he will have more than 14.5 receiving yards. That game coming up against the Patriots. They're good against the run. I think James Cook gets it done out of the backfield. He just needs a couple of catches to get that done. Maybe just one. He had 117 yards a week ago. Give me those backs to get more in week 5.
Next week, I'll start my
By the way,
2-player lineups.
This was okay. We can do that.
But no, I'm kidding.
This is
I'm going to go more.
This was a $5 bonus I was offered.
Okay.
So it's got the $5 bonus. It pays 6 times, so $5 to win 30. After you could download the app, use code HOTMIC. You got $5 there. You get $50 plus. I've got this bonus that I used.
I'm not going to spend a ton of time on mine because apparently I am a gigantic loser based on those numbers that we just showed. But I'll go ahead and show you my picks, my lineup this week.
Let's go.
Give me Juwan Jennings to score a touchdown. VFL. He's going to score one against the Rams.
Thursday night.
Give me Jackson Dart to have a big second game as the starter. More than 183.5 passing yards. And Jared Goff also. I like him against Cincy. Give me more on Jared Goff on passing yards as well.
Jackson Dart to get more.
Pays 8.5 times.
Brian Daboll may make out with him after the game. He nearly did. Nearly kissed him. Tom Brady style post game after the first win.
I would have kissed him for saving my job too.
Now Neighbors is hurt. So he will not be getting more. But we will see that with Jackson Dart.
We got primary complaint coming back.
We've got primary complaint. Plus, we have Jonathan Papelbon around the corner. Straight ahead here on Hot Mic.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
6th and Peabody, our location with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine. It is Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow here at OutKick.com. I expect to be joined by Jonathan Papelbon coming up in a few minutes, but first, it is Wednesday. We air our top grievance of the week with primary complaint.
It's time to air our top grievance of the week.
You can complain all you want.
My job is so unfulfilling. Don't run away from your feelings.
It's time for Hot Mike's primary complaint.
Guys, my primary complaint this week, I see where Jackson Dart is one of those who believes that we did not land on the moon. I mean, this coming from, and I'm getting, this is not, I don't know this to be true about Jackson Dart, but several players, including Jared Goff, don't know where the sun rises and sets. But we are in a world where, for whatever reason, this younger generation believes we didn't do this. I bet they couldn't tell us who was president whenever we landed on the moon. And if we didn't land on the moon, why is Elon Musk not trying to go to the moon instead of Mars? That's my primary complaint.
Yeah, it's maddening what people will believe because they watched a 30-second TikTok video or like a 3-minute explainer of a conspiracy theory, and then they just immediately run with it. That being said, I did see a 2-minute explainer about how the Oak Ridge National Laboratory is protecting portals to other universes. That based on a security guard that worked there, and I was immediately intrigued. So I guess I can kind of see some of the intrigue with it. But
so where did the portals?
Not buying it.
How did you? So they were always there, or they just built this, and all of a sudden the portal was there.
That part of the reason they built it. Now this is according to a guy who talked to a guy who worked security at Oak Ridge that said they protect portals that are showing mirror dimensions, and that all they hear from the mirror dimension is a weird sound. Okay, so anyway, probably the same podcast that Jackson Dart was watching.
Why does all this cool
about
stuff
the moon
only happen
landing
in the
being
United
fake?
States?
I don't know.
You know?
It's crazy. We love a good conspiracy theory in this country. In Starkville, Mississippi, they love a good cowbell. They love a good annoying sound. I've never really been anti-cowbell. I think it's stupid that the SEC allows an exception to Mississippi State that they don't allow for anyone else. Because, I mean, I get it. It's their tradition. It's an artificial noisemaker, but my complaint isn't that the SEC allows it or that Mississippi State fans want to bring a cowbell to a game and ring it as loud as possible and have that intense piercing in the ear. It's not that. My problem is it's not the most effective way to make a sound that is enjoyable to any fan, including your own, and it didn't really do a lot for noise. Now, part of this is because Tennessee took over the stadium, and there were a ton of fans in orange at the game, and I'm sure that was part of it, but I'm watching a game cranked up to 70 on the volume, even if I'm watching on television, because I want to experience the sights and sounds of the crowd as I'm watching the game. And I got to say, it's pretty quiet. Even with all the cowbells, pretty quiet. Wasn't a huge fan. So my primary complaint, cowbells.
Coming up, Jonathan Papelbon joins us here on Hot Mic.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
6th and Peabody, our location, Yeehaw Beer, Old Smoky Moonshine. Hot Mike, Hutton and Withrow here at OutKick. Chad, during the break just there, you saw Papelbon. In one of the screens, you said, "Man, this guy's awesome."
He's the best.
I totally agree.
I love a closer.
Totally agree.
I love a closer's mentality.
Yep.
And Jonathan Papelbon has that closer's mentality.
Yeah.
A great closer with the Boston Red Sox joints now. Great pitcher with Mississippi State also.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, I was just talking about how I'm not impressed by the cowbells, mainly because the pitch of the noise that it makes isn't an enjoyable experience when I'm watching on television in terms of noise. So please, as a Mississippi State guy, the floor is yours to defend the cowbell.
Well, I tell you what I do. I don't know about y'all, but I actually have a sound machine of cowbells that I go to sleep to every night. So it's rather relaxing for me. I don't know about other fans as well, but I don't know if you look at our season so far, man. I mean, look, we've already surpassed expectations this year. We got a great coach in Jeff Levy, man, and I actually missed last weekend's game in Tennessee. It was up in Stark Vegas, and I missed that game because my daughter was on homecoming court. So
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
cool.
probably going to try to go up this weekend.
Yeah, that's very cool. By the way, Jeff Levy just seems perfect for Starkville and Mississippi State. The look, the way he talks, the way he talks about ball. Like, I feel like occasionally you get that perfect fit for coach in school, and Jeff Levy feels like that perfect fit for Mississippi State. Do you agree?
Yeah, no question. I watch a lot of Mississippi State baseball and football and basketball. Big Mississippi State fan, and I think there's certain coaches that come along in certain eras that just match with your team. And I think he's one of them. And I also think Alex Cora is one of them with the Red Sox.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, Aroldis Chapman last night, it's 3-1. Ninth inning, bases loaded, loads up the bases, nobody out. And I'm watching this, and those Yankee fans are going crazy. You've been in situations like that as a closer. And Jonathan, he goes from 95 to start the inning to 102. And once the bases got loaded, really got pumped up a bit and started throwing the fastball and painting corners. What did you see from Aroldis Chapman in that moment?
Well, I tell you what, I've done this exact same thing before, and it's a weird thing with closers. And I don't know what it is, whether or not it's used to being in those situations where the pressure's on is where you feel most comfortable and you start throwing harder. But for me, it all boils down to your focus and your attention to detail, because once all those base runners come on and they're on base, then you have to really start, you have to be on your P's and Q's, because, anything that you leave over the middle of the plate can bloop hit. I mean, there's so many different ways, a sac fly, there's so many different ways a guy can score from there. So I tell you what, I was really impressed with him last night. I'm pretty sure in that situation, the only man that was not nervous was him. I was nervous last night, but when you're out there on the mound and you're as a closer, I felt comfortable in those situations.
What's the momentum like after a win like that?
Well, it's huge because, you could have easily let the momentum swing into their club. But, to me, the momentum before that inning was in the Red Sox favor, where they scored that extra insurance run. And to me, that's what did it all. They were, by scoring that insurance run, the inning prior, they were able to let Chapman go out there with an extra little bit of leash on him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, that one run is that one run extra to make it a 2-run lead made it that much easier for him to go out there and stay calm.
So Aaron Boone has defended the decision to pull Max Fried from that game. And he defended it by saying, well, we had a plan that he was going to go 6 innings and then we're going to go to the bullpen. And I'm thinking, if a guy's pitching that well, especially in the postseason, when does a manager allow for the game to change their decisions and the game play to change their decision? Now, he said, well, he got a double play to get out of the inning, so we went put him back out there to get one more out to go 6 1/3 in the 7th. And I'm thinking, why stop there? If your starter's rolling and you got a lead, how frustrating is that for you? And I know you understand the ins and outs of it, but when you hear a manager explain things that way, does it get to you when they're not allowing the game to dictate decisions they make?
Yeah, exactly right. And there's no question to me that Max Fried was he didn't visually show it, but he was upset that he came out of the game. Anytime a pitcher is dominating like he was last night and they get pulled in a game that's still in his control. The game was still in his control. You got to understand that. And as a manager, you're looking for certain things from your starting pitcher, whether or not you're going to take them. To me, the worst decision a manager can make is sitting there saying that I'm going to label him with 103 pitches tonight, or I'm going to put 110 pitches on him. It's the worst thing you can do, especially in playoffs. By the time playoffs come, you have to know your starters as a manager, and you have to know that, okay, these are the types of situations that I'm looking for when I'm going to pull them. Not here's a pitch number, because every game is different and every pitcher struggles and every pitcher gets tired at a certain in a certain way, in a certain different way each game. It's not the same. So you have to be able to look at that. And I believe that, here's another thing. You're paying this damn dude $200 million.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so if you're paying a guy $200 million, you better let him finish that game as much as possible, in my opinion.
Yeah, let the horse run the race. I feel like Terry Francona was a manager like you're talking about that would get into postseason situations, and he'd let the horses dictate who was going to run on any given day or night based on how they were performing. Is that so with Francona?
Yeah, there's no question about it. He's one of the greatest postseason managers there are. Right now he's got a Reds team that's a little bit overmatched with the Dodgers, but I still would not count them out. That's the crazy thing about it is I bet you a lot of people in Vegas will probably take the Dodgers, and I look at the Reds probably sneaking a game in here. They're a team that you can't count out. They're a team that's been hot here lately, and you got a manager with him that knows how to manage in the postseason, and sometimes that makes a big difference. I'm a firm believer in that managers throughout the season and in postseason can win an extra 2 to 3 games just by the way that they manage in the postseason and in the regular season. And in my opinion, last night, Aaron Boone had a rough night managing. He just did. He didn't manage as well as Alex Cora. Alex Cora outmanaged him last night. He was unable to get Ben Rice off of the bench because of moves that Alex Cora was making, and you just saw it throughout the game.
Well, other than Francona, what are there 2 or 3 clubs that you would put in that category with managers that can win 2 or 3 extra?
Yes, of course. I believe that the Boston Red Sox with Alex Cora are one of them. Terry Francona is another. You got Brad Mills on the bench with Terry Francona, and you've got Ramon on the bench with Alex Cora. And those guys make a big difference. Their bench coaches for a manager make a big difference. They're the ones that they're bouncing everything off of. And so they also have good bench coaches to go along with them.
So, Jonathan, we're looking at the teams that got the bye that's not playing in this wild card round. Between Toronto, Seattle in the AL, Milwaukee, Philly in the NL, is there one of those teams that you like the most to go on a run and win the World Series possibly?
I like the Phillies to win this year. I think that they're a team that has the most firepower. I think in their lineup, they've got guys that can mash, and I think they're just, they've been just missing. They've been just missing here in the last few years, and I think this is their year this year. And I'm actually looking for a Boston, my 2 former teams, a Boston Philadelphia World Series.
Is there anything better than knowing that the Yankees fans came in expecting World Series greatness based on their lineup, and they, after one game, feel the way they feel, that the world is caving in on them?
Doesn't get much better for a Red Sox guy, right?
Yeah, I tell you what, there's nothing better than that. Especially on Twitter, you know, a lot of the guys on Twitter like to mess with me. In fact, I got a bet with one guy on Twitter right now. You know, so
What's the bet?
You know, to me, I got to change my my logo to a Yankees logo, and
Okay.
I have to say something nice for a week about the Yankees team.
It's tough to do
every day.
Tough to do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about today's game? Red Sox, Yankees, pitching matchup. Give us just a thought or two on what you could see happening in this one.
Well, today's matchup, I look for the over to hit today in the game.
Right.
I like the over, number one. And number two, Bayo is going to have to go. Brian Bayo is going to have to go out there and control one pitch tonight. And that, to me, is his two-seam fastball. Now, if he cannot control his two-seam fastball, then the Yankees will win this ball game. But if he does, then the Red Sox have a very, very good shot at winning this game. Now, this is going to be a game also where defense is going to come into play, I believe. There's going to be a lot of plays that are going to happen all night, and whoever plays the best defense will win the ball game as well. So watch what happens in the field tonight a lot and see how they play with shifts, etc. So to me, defense and pitching going to be two of the biggest keys tonight.
Jonathan Papelbon has been our guest. Hey, on the way out, we've seen a lot of managerial changes. Are you in favor of seeing more first-time managers get the opportunity, or do you like the recycling that goes on year to year?
I tend to like the recycling because, you know, you have managers. To be a good manager, it takes a while to understand your players and your ball club. But also too, you know, you need new guys in. But to me, I like the Dave Roberts. I like the Terry Franconas and Alex Coras and the guys that have been managing for a while. But you know, that's just part of our game. That's just part of our game. It's in the NBA a lot too.
Yes.
And so you know, I tend to not mind it as much.
What do you think about Bruce Bochy? 70 years old. Let go from Texas, but has done a great job throughout his career. Are you all for him getting another chance, maybe with the Atlanta Braves, who now have an opening with Brian Snitker retiring to the front office?
Yeah, I'm not so sure if he's going to continue to coach. To me, my thoughts are he's probably going to hang it up. But Boch is one of the best managers, man. I think my second All-Star game in San Fran. He picked me as a alternate when the coaches had a pick, and so I bought him a nice bottle of bourbon. So
Nice.
He's a great players guy, like a players coach, and gets along with the players so well and understands them so well. It wouldn't be surprised to see that if he does get a job. But you know, what else is there for him to do? You know, really and truthfully. So. And his wife is probably saying, when are you going to hang it up as well? So
Hey,
I look at him to retire.
Was it Pappy for Papelbon? Did you get Pappy Van Winkle for the bourbon? Was that what it was?
Yeah. I forget what I got, but it was something really nice. I know he drinks top shelf bourbon, that's for sure.
Hey, so you're at Alpha's Alpha. Have you crossed paths with Mike Vrabel yet since he's became the head coach of the Patriots?
Yes, I've actually crossed paths with Vrabel when he was playing and I was playing here.
Okay. I would categorize him in the same group as you.
He's a dude's dude, right?
That dude can smoke a cigarette faster than any human being.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. Same here, man. That's my kind of guy.
I love that.
Marlboro harmonica, as we call it.
Yeah, basically the same person.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for the time. Let's do this again soon.
Okay, guys. Take care, man. Enjoy it.
Yeah, man,
thank
there
you.
he is. Papelbon.
Closer mentality, man.
No doubt.
He's like, just to get the juice going, you got to get bases loaded, nobody out. And then you get a little pumped up and you start throwing a little bit harder.
Some of the time, I mean, half the time, I don't even trust the radar. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it seems faster at times than what I'm seeing. And then sometimes it's like, that was 5 miles per hour more than what I just saw.
I'm watching last night, Hunt, and I knew the Yankees were cooked because Chapman threw one at 101, and I mean, it was almost right down the middle.
Yeah.
And Jazz Chisholm complain to the umpire about it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that was his second strike. I'm like, they're not hitting this guy. If he's turning around and looking and mouthing to the umpire about that one that was
Then
clearly a strike,
they're not catching it.
They're not seeing it. They're not catching up to it. This game is over.
Yeah,
and
fast
it was.
is fast.
Yes.
Right? Fast show today. We are back at it for the Thursday edition. Hope you'll join us 11 a.m. Eastern right here at OutKick.com. Hot Mic with Hunt and Withrow.